Hey, this is Tyler with TJX Survival. I have a review for you of the Wazoo survival belt, so stay tuned. Recently, I spent some time in South America traveling in Colombia. I went down there with Tops Knives and Bushcraft Global, and while I was down there, a friend of mine, Dave, with Ultimate Survival Tips, showed me a belt that he had. Now, this belt comes from Wazoo, which is, Save Your Wazoo survival equipment. And I contacted them because before I came to Colombia, I was looking for ways that I could carry stuff on my person. I have a couple of really good ideas. I mean, I used a body safe. Essentially, that's a wallet that goes in front of your underwear, behind your shirt and your pants. The problem is it's not quickly accessible, and it works fairly well, but I was looking for something that just worked better. I have used belts before. Belts usually have a big long zipper though. You gotta take your belt all the way off before you can access anything, and then become a raging pain in the butt. So I reached out to Justin at Wazoo, and he sent me one of these belts, and I've been using it constantly since I got it, probably about a month and a half now. It's not a huge amount of use, but it's enough for me to say this is now my favorite belt. Some requirements I personally had for the belt was I wanted it to be thick enough I could put a gun on it. I wanted it to be rigid enough to hold a knife. I work in law enforcement, military. Those are things that I'm going to have on my belt. The other thing I wanted is quick access. Now, this belt has a couple items that are just phenomenal, that are really, really intelligent. One of the most important items that I like actually is this mirror, okay? This survival mirror is just outstanding because I can reflect it right at you and use it for signaling, and then just put it right there, and it's not accessible. One of the other things that I really like is I can access stuff while I'm still wearing it. So essentially it's just Velcroed from the top. I'm gonna grab the first item I've got hanging out in here. It happens to be water purification pellets. So one of the items that I put in here is the Katadyn water purification pellets. Now there's a lot of stuff that I'll show you in just a few minutes that you can put in these belts. You can pack them up until they don't have the ability to contain all the crap that you want. So you kind of you have to decide where are you going, what do you need, what do you want in your survival belt, and then pack it accordingly. So if you're going to be in a third world country in a military type situation, you probably want escape and evasion tools in the center and the front of your belt. If you're going to be in a survival related situation, you're going to want stuff more like water purification and a compass and small knives and that kind of thing. So that's the best part of this belt, is modularity. When I first got it, it's a giant belt. One size really does fit all. You just take what you don't need that's excess and you cut it off, and then the pocket portion's on the inside. So as you can tell, this belt it fits correctly, fits very well. It's rigid enough to hold guns and stuff on it, and soft enough to be comfortable and an everyday wearing belt. So I'm gonna pull it off to show you a little bit more about it. I do like the fact that it is quick access while you're wearing it, but that's gonna mean that you're gonna have to decide what you need access to. For me, I'm gonna put something on the side like a compass, maybe a little knife, maybe money. Towards the back, I'm gonna put more cash, because if I want to access my wallet, I can pull out small 20s. If I have some large bills, I'll put that in my belt back there. That way, if I get robbed, they can have my wallet, but then they don't have the photocopy of my passport or the contents of my belt, which is where the larger chunks of money are going to be. Now, he sent me a box full of stuff for this belt. Some of the items that I got in this belt are like Kevlar cordage, ranger bands, a saw, a whistle, plastic bags that you can use for water containing devices. There's a whole bunch of stuff. There's 3 different versions of this belt. There's just the belt. There's the belt with the mid-level gear, and then the belt packed with a higher level gear. I asked for some of the mid-level stuff because I'm going to choose what I want to put in here, and I happen to have a lot of things that will work. So the way that you access this is it's just basically got Velcro on the top. You just go ahead and pull that apart. Right there is one of the compasses that they brought. Sweet little guy. I have the Katadyn water filters. I'm sorry, Katadyn water purification tablets. The next thing I put in is those rubber bands, because there's two reasons. Rubber bands are nice because they can secure items, but they're also good because they burn very well. So from a fire starting perspective, rubber bands are the reason why I have those in there. Got a nice little ceramic knife. Now, once you pull this dog tag off, this ceramic knife will work for the most part. It's not going to set off the majority of magnetic detectors. That's really, really important. I stick that in the belt largely because if I'm ever captured, okay, by someone unfriendly to me and I am tied up with rope, this gives me the ability to cut through that rope with just the contents of my belt. The next item I've got in there is a little cordage. This is Kevlar cordage, and that too gives me the ability to burn through like zip ties and that type of stuff. I can also use this for a bow drill or other related items. Cordage is incredibly valuable. These little guys are petroleum, jelly, and cotton, and a ferro rod or a fire striker, okay? That gives me the ability to have fire. Now, of course, I can spend some time and make a bow drill or a hand drill, which I'm competent at, but you can't always find the right materials for that in an urban setting, so that's why I keep these in my belt. Last piece in here is a piece of wire. There's so many things you can do with wire. Trip wire, fixing things, making traps. That's why I leave that one in there. Got a couple zip ties. These can work as handcuffs or, again, fixing things. They're very, very valuable items. And a little fishing kit. This guy right here is hooks and sinkers, and there's a needle in there for sewing and some safety pins. Just gives me the ability to make all sorts of really cool mechanisms for fishing. One other really interesting thing I found is they have these little strings at the very tip of the belt. That's really smart. If I've got some sort of device that I'm really worried about losing, even maybe like a key, I can just connect it to that string and then just slide it right down inside the belt. And that way I have vastly expanded my capacity from escape and evasion perspective or a survival perspective when I'm wearing something that will work both in a public setting and out in the woods. So this belt will function in the woods, but it also looks good. You could wear it to church, wear it to, wherever you're gonna go. All right, guys, that is a simple and quick down and dirty on this belt. I wanted to get straight to the point and show you its value. It works well, it's rigid enough to hold the gun, it's soft enough that it's comfortable. It's got a lot of really, really smart ideas in it, and right now, bell going off. Right now, they're doing a Kickstarter, so if you want a discount on this puppy, get over there right now. I'll leave the link down below in the discussion box. Hopefully this is valuable to you. If it was, please hit the subscribe button, and thank you for watching T-Jack Survival.